have included workflow as well. So before publishing the content on the main portal, there should be a workflow involved in that process. Let's say Akib has decided to publish this content onto the website. Before prior publishing, you have decided to publish this content internally along with the supervisor, or you wanted to display that content to the supervisor for approval, whether the article is right or wrong. Let's say I'll give you the first example where when I was giving you, let's say you have seen the website times.com. It's a time magazine. The auditor receives a lot of requests every day from the co-author. They just design the content, write the content, and they give it to editor. What editor does basically, it verifies whether it's right or wrong. So let's say there are 3 or 4 editors, or there is another guy who is in charge of the entire content. What happens basically, the content comes from the author. Author means the editor who writes the article, and the manager or editor receives the entire articles and he verifies. Or what happens? Do you think content comes from the author and then it's published onto the website? What happens? There should be a mechanism of controlling how they can control the content of the organization. How? They just receive the content from the editor or columnist. We call it columnist. Then editor receives it, review it, and approves it, and forward the content to the other personnel. Let's say he is in charge or supervisor of the editor. So supervisor sees the content. He says, okay, it could be published onto the portal area. So this is basically the entire. Let's say one person is here, he sends the information onto the Times magazine. And the entire private area, he receives the entire thing here and he verifies it, and it should go on to the other person's desktop. He is the manager. So manager sees the content about the war, let's say Iraq war. He says, okay, this is approved, it should be published. And then here is the SharePoint server. It is for user. Once you just approve it, it should be published. Then the entire content will be displayed onto the Times magazine site. So this is how it process goes. So let's see this workflow how it goes here. Look, authoring activity performs first. Authoring means who are going to create content for you. Let's say in this case, columnist who create the content, and they make a minor draft first because it's not published. So we will call them a minor draft. If they approve it, like in this case, it goes to the editor, he approves it, then it should go down. Otherwise, if they don't approve it, the authoring personnel will see again, okay, what was my mistake? Okay, this was my mistake, then I'll write it again. Otherwise, if they approve it, so it should be published onto the portal area, available for everybody to see. So this is the entire content management with the workflow environment, how it process goes. So there are a number of templates you will see. Look at the site selection features. This is basically related to content management. How Microsoft has made life so easier for non-professional publisher or author. Use these templates. Let's say there is a publishing infrastructure disposition workflow, routing workflow, 3-stage workflow. These are the workflow. Workflow basically is very simple, where you just do approval. It's a business process, automation of the entire activity, or you route document from one desk to other is called workflow. Workflow, definition of the workflow. Let's say I have routed this document to other personnel for approval. So approval should be automated. There is nothing like it's been happening like junk group. As I given you example, what happening is, do you know what has been happening there? You will see bulk of paper, and paper routes from one head office to branch office for only approval. Let's say branch wants a big branch manager set in Lahore. Junk group has throughout the office in Pakistan. Branch manager says, I have seen the environment, that's why I am giving you the real example. He said, Mr. XYZ, I wanted to purchase PC kindly approve my request. This is very simple example of workflow. So normally it's a traditional activity what has been happening here. It's not automated. So this requisition, basically they send the requisition through the courier. Courier guys come to the office of Young Group and they say, okay, he has sent the request, no, reject it, I don't want to sign it because he has already purchased new PC a year ago. So what happens basically, again he is going to, the manager is going to submit the application again for new PC. Like say there is a lot of back and forth. So traditionally there is a lot of headache of expense, courier expense, you need to spend a lot of money in that. So if you have workflow automated and content management, as you see, you can do a lot of things without any expense, as you understood that. So come back to the workflow. There are number of types you will find. In SharePoint you will find that sort of workflow. Let's say 3-state workflow and routing workflow. Routing workflows are used for routing the documents. They are document-centric workflow. Okay? And then that thing we will see again. These are the templates, they will help you to create content type. Now I will tell you what the content type. I just wanted to give you a demo for content type. Okay. So what motivates me to create the content type? Basically a problem, because I am going to tell you what the content type are. In SharePoint there is a feature we call it content type. There is a very big functionality, we call it